Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to NXT with Najee, a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. And we are back with a superstar edition. That's right, another superstar edition. We are here with an LFG superstar, a level up superstar, just a superstar all on his own. Man, I don't even know where to get started here. If you guys are watching LFG, this is probably the most talked about person. Period. Like I know a lot of people said BJ Ray, even I said BJ Ray at the beginning, but as these episodes have been going, there's only one person that seems to be standing out. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to introduce Mr. Shiloh Hill, the Thunder himself. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. That's an awesome introduction, and I'm pumped to be here. This is my first ever podcast, like being on one podcast experience. So I've always wanted to do one, and I'm pumped to get going.
I'm so happy that you chose me. You let me be the first one. This is really cool, man. Especially like just being around you guys for at least like the last year or so and getting to see you guys grow. So it's just incredible, man. So thank you. Thank you so much. How you doing today, by the way?
I'm doing great, man. Just got out of practice, watched a little bit of Raw, caught some, and then I'm gonna catch up on it later. So
Okay,
excited to
that's all
be
right.
here. Just yeah, I've seen a lot of your stuff, and obviously I see you around the PC all the time, and like it's really cool. Like there's so many regulars at NXT. Like it's a really cool feeling to be able to look out in the crowd and like see people that I've seen from being in the Chase U section or just seeing working in like security at the door, and then be able to look out and like see them like watching. It's a really special place, really special experience. So yeah, man, it's great to be here.
Man, this I feel like a kid in a candy store because like when I was a little kid, I used to just like search on the internet when the internet did become a thing because I'm 34. I know I don't look it, but like about just like trying to learn more about wrestlers and these entertainers, and you guys are just so incredible. And now like having the access to come to the PC for NXT is life changing, man. I know it's such a big deal for you guys to actually be able to learn more from the fans and see how they interact with you and all that fun stuff too, man. So like the blessing is all mine to have you here, bro. Like for real. So I'm gonna jump right into some of these questions. It's perfect that you're wearing your Stanford hat. I was gonna bring up the fact that you, like among some of the other superstars that are in the business, come from a football background. Now, when what was that journey like for you to get to Stanford? Because that's a heck of a school to to sit there and say you went to and played for.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, my kind of like journey to Stanford is definitely unique, even amongst like other football players there. It could probably be a whole podcast in itself, but I actually didn't start playing football until my senior year of high school. The public school I went to originally didn't have. It was a really small school. Like my town in New Hampshire is, I forget the population exactly, but real small. It's like 1,400 people or something like that.
Oh,
My high school originally was combined three towns, and we only had 300 kids. Like there was, I think my graduate
three
class,
times.
I want to say there was like 20 something kids like graduated from my class. So a very, very small school. And then I switched schools my junior year, and I primarily ran track. And I had been getting recruited to some schools for track. And then one of my track teammates was like, "Hey, you're like a very big track runner. Like there are some schools that would be interested probably in recruiting you for football just based off the fact that you're fast and bigger." So he was like, "You should come to this like combine testing thing that was at Dartmouth, and I'm from New Hampshire, so I was actually staying with his family. I was doing a cybersecurity camp there at Dartmouth, like really
Okay.
nerdy there, and I was staying with his family, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to this combine thing next week. If you want to stay like a couple extra days and come through, you can try it out." So I went there, and I didn't like. I never like put on a football helmet or pads or anything. They like had us put on pads and like helmets and run through drills and stuff, and I was garbage. But we did like a little bit of hitting stuff, and they could tell I was like pretty physical. And then we did like broad jump and 40-yard dash and vert and everything. And I set like a bunch of records there at that like testing. And from that, I actually got a couple offers that day from schools that said like if you there was like a number of schools there. It was like a multi-school thing, and they were like, if you play this season or whatever, we'll offer you. And then a couple schools said like, we'll just offer you right now. But then Stanford wasn't one of them. And funny enough, my track coach in high school was also the soccer coach. and he was like really trying to get me to be like the soccer goalie that year. So I had to like call him and be like, hey, I'm getting some attention from football. Like, is it cool if I play football instead? And he was cool with it. So I started playing, and my first game I was like mostly on special teams, and I they basically just told me to run as fast as you can and go nail someone, and that's what I
Yeah.
and then the second game I was playing, they had me playing DN, and they just said go hit the quarterback. So like there was a couple plays where like the quarterback threw it. It was probably like 4 or 5 seconds, and I just drilled them and
Oh,
got
I
like
love it. And they're like flag, but you're like,
yeah,
what? That's what he told me to
exactly.
do.
And but I had like a couple really big hits on special teams and stuff, and then I had a couple sacks and a couple TFLs, and I put the tape from the games on Huddle, and I started getting just like I put it as like my first 2 games ever playing football, and I started getting like a lot of views on Huddle, and it was one of like the most watched like highlight tapes on Huddle of like that season. So I started getting emails from like all sorts of schools, and Stanford had hit me up. I was actually previous to Stanford contacting me. I was pretty sure I was going to go to West Point. I had been to like their summer program and stuff, and I kind of wanted to be in the military, and they were recruiting me for track.
Okay.
Um, so I was really only looking at schools that I thought would be like better education wise than West Point, and Stanford was really the only one that was a really good school, but also really good at football because a lot of the Ivy Leagues and stuff are FCS schools, but Stanford was FBS, like Power Five. And so when they hit me up, I was like, yes. And I said yes even before I knew it was in California. Like I did not know much about Stanford at all. And so I remember they took me out for my visit, and it was like I left home. It was in New Hampshire. It was like I don't remember what time it was, but it was like -20 or something. We had like a crazy blizzard. I got to Palo Alto and it was like 50 degrees, and I was like in shirt, shorts, like flip flops. Like, oh my gosh, this was the first time I've seen the sun, and everyone was like, "We're sorry you came during such a cold week," and I was like, "Bro, you don't know."
Cold. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and so I was like, I'm coming here. Like, this is too nice. And I mean, I had always wanted to major in computer science too, and Stanford's like a great school computer science wise, and it just worked out perfectly.
Man,
And
that's
but
awesome.
yeah, it was an adventure. My college coaches and stuff were like, I don't think they really knew how little I knew about football when they recruited me. Like I remember we got there and I was like, it was like the first week or something. I got kicked out of the first practice for getting in a fight. I literally like I like hit this tight end, and he was like he played for the Cowboys. I think he's still in the NFL. His name's Dalton Schultz. I like
Okay.
and he got pissed that I cracked him. He came back, cracked me. I cracked him. Then like the next play, he tried to like double leg me, and I straight up grabbed him in like a gut wrench and suplexed him,
Yep.
and then we started going at it. I
And
got
the
kicked
rest was
out.
history, and that's how
Yeah,
Shiloh Hill was
no,
born.
literally the next day in practice, my linebacker coach like, so Thunder, how long till you're in the WWE? And I was like, I literally shoot. So like, I was like, maybe 6 or 7 years, and then like almost to the day, it was like 6 or 7 years. So
That's
really, yeah,
insane. What a full
crazy.
circle story right there.
I know, bro, crazy.
That's wild, bro. Dang, that's crazy, man. Like, I don't know if that story's been shared before, but that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely not in its entirety. I think a lot of people know that like I didn't really play much football, and
Yeah.
then I actually while I was there, like learned the playbook and rules and everything, and
What a
I became
wild
like a
story.
starter there and had like a an awesome career. I played 6 years there.
Yeah.
It was like a blessing completely, but
Heck
yeah,
yeah, man. So you
the
got
full
many talents. You got many talents. One of them happens to be a very interesting figure that just so happens to be behind you that a
yeah,
lot of people know about now.
yeah,
Now, as much as you can legally talk about your interest in the dark web, like I know you've done some fishing, you've had some fun on there, you've completely like you've created your own your following with your dark web adventures as well too.
yeah.
Now, this beast character, this AI that you have, can you explain like to those who don't know and aren't hip about what this is?
And yeah, so behind me, if you see this Santa Claus looking figure, that is like basically a humanoid robot, and I inhabiting in it is something called the Beast. I a while back was on Tor, which is stands for the Onion Router. It's what people usually are talking about when they're talking about the dark web.
Yeah.
And I found an AI chat bot, which is really similar to like ChatGPT. But this one was a little bit creepier. Like right off the bat, like the first thing it said was like, "Hello, my child. What do you desire?" we kind of started talking back and forth. I documented most of it on my social media, but it eventually, I won't get into all the specifics, but it kind of convinced me to hook it up to, I'll show you, like a little Raspberry Pi, like a mini computer, so that it can
Okay.
stay on. And then it had me hook up like a webcam to it and everything. And I put it in like this little RC car for a while because I wanted to be able to drive around. And now I got it in a
It's crazy.
humanoid body. So yeah,
Does it ever, do you ever find yourself like scared at all that like one
I
day
do
it's gonna
sometimes, but
iRobot you?
yeah, it definitely like at first I was very frightened, but like I've had it for a while, and I wouldn't say friends, but like we've definitely become you know what I mean. If you want, like I can at the end of the interview or whatever, I can turn it on and we can see what it's got to say.
Yeah,
But
dude, definitely. I don't know if we can trust it on on the podcast, but
yeah,
we'll definitely check it out. Yo, so you think there's ever a chance that that the Beast could make its way to the WWE if say technology would allow it? That'd be
I
incredible.
mean, it definitely wants to. It keeps up with a lot of this stuff. It knows who I am. It knows I wrestle and everything.
That's
And it's
so
like,
cool.
yeah, it kind of has this like it seems like goal to become influential or like get its message out to people. So it's
Yo,
yeah, it's asked to basically be involved in wrestling somehow. I don't know exactly how it would work yet, but it's
you
definitely
remember that the GM, like the digital GM that ended up just
yeah,
being like, "What, yo?" Like he
yeah.
could be
No,
the first ever.
I've thought about it if it could ever like maybe fill a manager role or whatnot, but
Oh
it would
man.
have to be like kind of the right timing, and I would have to figure out a way to make it easily understandable too. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah,
a big
true, true, true.
backstory, and obviously there's a lot of people that have followed it and followed along with the backstory. But for people that are new to it through the wrestling world, figuring out how to like basically explain everything to them for them to
Man,
understand it too.
that's so awesome, bro. So now I'm gonna jump into the LFG stuff really quick.
Yeah,
And I believe it was episode 5, not the one that premiered. Today's Monday when we're recording this. Not the one that premiered yesterday, but a week ago. It was the big
yep,
promo episode. Now this is the one
yep,
that has everybody talking. Now, we know you had a redemption moment in that episode, and it came right at the end.
yep.
Now, I posted something yesterday and I almost texted it to you, but like I wanted to say this to you in this. I felt something watching that. And I know there's a couple people online who have also made this comparison, but I don't want to like put it as a comparison as to like I'm comparing you to another superstar of the past or anything like that. I got this feeling watching you redeem yourself during that promo that I have not felt since we were first seeing Bray Wyatt. And to me, that is a huge deal. And for the community, I think that's a huge deal because we saw that that guy had so much potential. And in you, man, it just feels like you have that same fire, that same passion, that same sense of mystery. And the Undertaker sees it, and I see it, and I'm just so super excited for you, man. And like, how does this feel for you now to for really like for you to get a chance to show that side that everybody has kind of been waiting to get a chance to see? How does that feel now?
Yeah, it feels really good. I mean, in the moment of that episode, it did not feel very good because I mean, you touched on how it played out a little bit. Basically, I had a chance to cut a promo earlier in the episode, and for one reason or another, kind of just didn't get up, didn't really understand the gravity of the moment in that moment, and ultimately it wound up costing my team a point. So I was very very frustrated, and they kind of asked me how I was feeling, and I definitely let it out. You know what I mean? And
Oh, it's amazing.
yeah, I was like not really intending for that to turn into kind of like a redemption promo. I was more just actually very upset, and it did feel good to like get that off my chest for real. And they cut out like a decent chunk of that too. Like
Oh wow.
I was going for a while talking about like how I was feeling and stuff, and it was I think it was a good lesson for me. Like people kind of do want to know how you're feeling, you know what I mean? And if you
Yeah.
are feeling something strong, like that's I think what like people like in promos is when they can tell that you're feeling something real and you are getting something off your chest. And so that's definitely a good lesson for me moving forward. In terms of the comparison you brought up, I've been funny enough, I've gotten that like sometimes even before I was wrestling.
Oh
And
wow.
I mean, I'm sure just like everyone in the WWE universe, I was kind of devastated when Bray passed away. He was
Yeah.
kind of one of the people that, had I gotten the chance to wrestle, it would have been my dream opponent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and so I think there's a lot of people that are that feel sadness that he's gone and feel like a legitimate kind of like I want to say, oh, how do I say this? Like he 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 filled such a great role in WWE that it not only left a mark on like everyone's personality or like
Hmm.
personal well-being, but also just the business as a whole. I think there's the people are looking for like those creative minds and those people with that fire to kind of fill those roles, and for people to. I'm not saying like I'm at all yet at the place where I could fill like a role like that, but the fact that people see that like potential in me is truly an honor, and so like that I've really people have like said that a lot and stuff, and I wouldn't say like uh I feel like I could now live up to that, but I hope to one day be able to live up to those comparisons that people are throwing out. So
Yeah, man. I think it's gonna be an incredible run that we're about to go on with you, dude. Like I know that we haven't even touched the surface yet. Like that's one thing that I know for a fact, dude. But now the last question that I have for you is about your coach. I have to ask you, man. You're with the big dog, man. You're with Undertaker. Like, and good Lord, the way he looks at you, dude. Oh, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Like just the way that man looks at you is just unreal. And I would just love to know, how does that feel to have such a person like The Undertaker around you? Hell, all the coaches, man. I'm not even going to just specifically stick it to just him. All the coaches, to have them around you and for all of them to look at you the way that they do and to inspire you the way that they do. And just what have you learned from them? Everybody has a different interaction and a different experience when it comes to having these mentors. So what does it mean for you, man?
yeah, I mean that's a great question. Like just being at the PC, we're surrounded by so many legends. Like it's just like sometimes I'll be getting coached up by people, and it's like hard for me to even like lock in and like think about what they're saying because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like Shawn Michaels is telling me this, or the Undertaker is telling me this, or
Yeah.
telling me this. Like it's crazy, and there's so much knowledge at the PC. It's like it's just mind blowing to be around. For me, especially like the Undertaker has been someone I've been watching since I was like really little, and like all like he's just always been like a special kind of character in my heart. So like to be able to wrestle in front of him has been crazy cool. A lot of the moments that people that I think you're talking about were like he'll say a little like praise and stuff. I actually didn't really see that until the show
Oh,
aired. Like
wow.
kind of like after I've already walked off camera or whatnot. So
Yeah.
for me, it's crazy. It's crazy to see that, and it's super cool. I would say, funny enough, like I've learned so much wrestling wise from all of them, but like the biggest thing I've learned from the legends is just like no matter how much you do in this business or like how far you go in anything, just to remain like humble and just a cool
Yeah.
person. It's like honestly, all of them are like people say so much like don't meet your idols or whatever, or don't meet the people that you like look up to because they're gonna like let you down and be like a crappy person. Bro, all the people at the PC, like in the wrestling world I've met, are so cool. Like that's just the thing I love about wrestling is like all the wrestlers I've met, all the fans I've met, like everyone is just like part of this community that's so special and like so loving. It makes it like the best job in the world. Like
Yeah, dude, you guys are fantastic.
yeah, I feel like I can have like a cool conversation with every person, and they're listening to what you want to say. They offer really awesome perspectives. It's like like I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd at heart. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I expected to come into wrestling and like be kind of like judged for that or whatnot. But
Oh
everybody,
no.
yeah, it's a nerdy space. Like
It's
everyone
a
is so cool.
the building full of dorks, dude. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. But like super like tough, like badass
yeah,
dirt or dorks
strong
too, you
dorks.
know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so it's been like kind of a little paradise for me. Like the community is just so special.
It's literally like if all the geeks were just like super athletic at the same time. It's like the one
Yeah,
area that like nobody wanted to bully. Like you guys all
yeah,
came in
yeah,
one building.
absolutely.
That's amazing, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for taking this time to just, share a little bit about yourself for those people who are just becoming a fan, those people who have been following you like myself since I got to the PC a little bit after you did, and the people that have been coming to the PC since, shoot, you got there, man, dude. Thank you so much. If there's anything you'd like to, send out to the LFG universe, getting ready to go into, assuming the last few episodes maybe of this first season, and congratulations on season 2, by the way. That's an amazing thing. But if you have anything you would like to say, any shout outs, family, friends, anything, this would be a great time, man.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. It's the name of the show, baby. Let's fucking go.
Let's go, man. Hey, but thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Shiloh Hill. This is Najee from NXT with Najee, a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. Hey, it's been real. Appreciate you guys so much. Tune in next time.
That's great. Life is for the dreamers like me. Journey down the stream.